Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So recently, I was thinking about if there were any really important factors within K-pop that I haven't yet talked about on my channel, and I realized that I haven't once yet talked about my favorite fashion choices within it. Now, I don't have a fashion degree or anything of the sort, but as someone who consistently consumes K-pop content, I naturally have certain types of styling that I tend to get drawn towards. But what I've noticed is that what I like doesn't seem to be the most popular. So today, we're talking about my favorite underrated K-pop fashion trends. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, consider leaving a thumbs up, and without further ado, let's get into the first topic. Green hair. Due to its status of not really being seen as one of the quote-unquote pretty colors, I generally don't see much anticipation or desire from fans for their favorite idols to try out green hair, and for idols who have, when people talk about which hair color suited them best, I usually don't see their green hair ever really showing up in discussions. However, personally, I find green hair to be one of the most eye-catching and charming colors out there, and I'd even go as far as to say that it's a color that pretty universally looks good on anybody, and I don't know if I've ever seen an idol look bad in green hair. Okay, but this doesn't apply to like green ombre when they transition from brown to green. It doesn't look good at all in those instances, but solid green hair is something that I think looks amazing and should be utilized way more often. My favorite shades of green hair are definitely the mintier greens, which lie somewhere in the spectrum between green and blue, but even when the green lies more on the yellow side, going into the sort of lime shades, I still think it looks really good. Some of my absolute favorite examples of green hair in K-pop include Ishin from ONF during Ugly Dance era, Dahyun from Twice and Happy Happy, Nancy from Momoland and BAM, and my absolute favorite, which you are probably all expecting, Minjae from MCND during Na Na Na. I mean, look, just look at these examples. No, there's no way you can't like this. It's so good. And it works with so many different colors of clothes too. It works with white and black, obviously, but it also works with yellows and blues, even reds. I mean, green hair gives you so many different options to work with. So yeah, I don't know. I see so many different people saying that green is a hair color that no idol should ever try, but I sort of think that it's something that everybody should try. I really do think that it's something that's hard to make look bad as long as you have the right shade, which they should be able to get because they have proper stylists, and it's way more interesting than just another boring shade of brown. Street clothes. I know that the K-pop industry kind of puts idols on a pedestal, marketing them as if they were like a tier above the average person. So I understand why seeing idols in street clothes for like music videos or official promotions isn't really a common sight, but it's kind of one of my favorite things ever. And I know you can always see idols wearing street clothes when they're like live streaming or maybe when they're doing smaller activities that aren't as big of a deal. So this might be an unpopular opinion, but let's get full music videos and entire stage promotions wearing just a combination of hoodies, sneakers, jeans, beanies, tank tops, crop tops, shorts, but only if they look good, skirts, sweaters, and some nice unbuttoned button-ups. Sorry, that was a long list, but my main point is that I like it when idols look relatable and down to earth. I can totally enjoy a fully put together and high class comeback, and some of my all-time favorite styling eras include What Is Love by Twice, which had those fully decked out princess dresses, Deja Vu by Ateez, and Cool by Meki, all of which were not casual by any means. But when there's a What Is Love era, there's also a Knock Knock era. For every Deja Vu, there's a WayV era, and for every Cool, there's an I Don't Like Your Girlfriend. And although the more extravagant styling tends to be the first thing that catches my eye, these more laid back and relaxed eras tend to be what entice me to stick with a group for a longer amount of time. Say anything you want about the music that's related to the eras that I just mentioned, because they tend to be some of the most divisive within each of those groups' catalogs. However, you can't convince me that the clothes weren't amazing. I love it when idols wear clothes that make it look like they're just somebody that you could see walking down the street, but at the same time, even though you might see them at the mall, they would be someone that would make you do a double take. And if you did see them in real life, even if it was only for a couple of seconds, they'd be one of those strangers that you know absolutely nothing about, but you'd think about them for at least a couple of minutes after that because they were just really memorable. Overalls. I was considering including this in the street clothes section, but since overalls aren't the most common clothing item, I decided to give it its own little bit. And I don't know about the rest of you, but to me, when an idol wears overalls, it really helps them nail any kind of cute concept. I just think overalls make a person look a lot more approachable, and it helps bring out the youthful side in somebody. There's not much else to say, but I do think overalls are a bit scarce nowadays because you don't really see much of those like brighter youthful concepts. They do still show up nowadays, it's just a little bit more of a rare occurrence than it was in the past, just from what I can see. And some of my favorite examples of K-pop idols in overalls are Woozi from 17, IN from Stray Kids, Yoojung from Meki, and Win, once again, from MCND. So yeah, or at least I need idols to wear more overalls. Bruised/scarred makeup. To give a little bit of a personal reason as to why I included this, I'm a DOB or a DB. I know people use both and I'm not entirely sure which one I'm supposed to use for myself, but I'm a fan of the boys. And I really love the makeup that they used in their music video for Maverick. And I guess I'm just a little bit disappointed that we didn't really see those injury and bruise makeup effects showing up in live stages. I don't know if this makes sense, but I really enjoy the sort of rough and jagged effect that this sort of makeup has on a person's look, and as long as it's used with the right concept, such as Maverick by the boys, these small injury details can really bring an outfit together. And if it's used across multiple members in a large group, it can add a sense of visual cohesion within the team, even if the outfits that they're wearing aren't that similar. I think these sort of injuries look the best when they're either placed along the cheekbone or right above the eyebrow. And then honorable mention to right along the jawline too, because all of these placements make a person look sharper, if you know what I mean. Like, it gives them a bit of a sinister feeling, and it also has a pretty nice contour effect. I also think NCT 127 pulled off this look pretty well during Punch Era, and I also think that ITZY could pull off this look pretty well if they went for it. I think this kind of makeup would have worked perfectly during Mafia in the Morning Era, and I'm kind of sad because it feels like a missed opportunity, but I'm sure somebody in JYP brought up the idea and they probably had valid reasons for not going through with it. That being said, this kind of makeup is something that you can see all the time from 4th gen boy groups, because the usual sound that you get from these 4th gen boy groups seems to align with these kind of makeup styles pretty closely. Man buns. Now that long hair seems to really be the new thing from male idols, I hope we see a lot more man buns in the near future too. Now, for those who don't know, a man bun is a hairstyle worn by a guy with longer hair, where they take a portion of their hair either on top or at the back of their head and tie it into a small knot, with all of the hair that isn't tied falling down naturally. I don't know how the rest of you feel, but this is by far one of my favorite looks, and it helps give a little bit of, I guess, flavor to long hair that would otherwise be a little bit boring. They also look particularly nice when they're worn with other hair accessories, like put a good headband along with a man bun and just, oh, perfection. There are also a bunch of different ways that you can style it, like you can have the man bun and then the rest of the hair in the back is sort of messy, giving the entire look sort of a rugged feel, or the rest of the hair can be very clean. There's a lot of diversity. Personally though, I do enjoy the messier look a little bit more, and some of my favorite examples of the man bun look are Hyunjin from Stray Kids, Yuta from NCT, and one time Eric from The Boys did it and it looked phenomenal. I also don't know why Huijun hasn't tried a man bun with his long hair yet. It seems like a really big missed opportunity, and I hope they do it at least one time before they might decide to cut his hair, like, please. And that concludes this video. I'm not a fashion expert by any means, but I know what I do and don't like, so I thought I'd share some of my opinions on here. Let me know what you thought of my choices, and let me know if you have any like underrated fashion styling choices that you want more K-pop idols to do. I'm not too picky when it comes to fashion, especially when it's for other people that aren't me, but for the things I talked about today, I'm like very passionate about them, and I really think that more idols should do them. Also, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos from me, consider subscribing. This is my last week before school starts, so I'm gonna try to pump out a couple more videos at the least, and thank you all so much for supporting my channel. Alright, without further ado, see you next time, and yeah, peace out.